Thanks for the support as a channel member, Aidan Wren. Our quest for a third Champions League title at a third different club in this series continues today against Roma, and we may have messed up the first leg. Hello and welcome to Club 7, Part 8 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final away against Roma and a Premier League game away against Chelsea. Since you were last with me, we managed to get ourselves knocked out of the FA Cup on penalties, so that's going to be an English competition that we don't win this season, which is sad. Of course, we could still bottle the Premier League yet and have to do another season here with Man United. But I had hoped to do a clean sweep in 1 year. But obviously, Liverpool had other ideas. They beat us in the league and beat us in the cup twice. So we had 2 defeats against them in 3 matches. We then drew 0-0 with Roma at home in the Champions League, but bookended that with 11 goals scored in the games either side of it. So we've kind of got a reverse Champions League hangover situation going on, and we've left ourselves with quite a tricky second leg first up against Roma today, where we've got to go to their place and beat them, or at the very least get a score draw to make it through to the semi-final. This is the team we're taking there to do that. We have got Philippe Leonard back, and he is back in the team and back in the goals. He's already scored since his return, so hopefully we've got original Philippe Leonard back in the team now. But we're going with Old Trichter in goal. A back four of Ronaldo, Pascual, Haman and Merba, Vermonti at the base of the midfield, Abitbull and Baumgartner ahead of him, Sweeney, Leonard and Crown are the front three. Keith Crown has been getting better and better as the season's gone on. I've just realised I haven't adjusted my eyebrows today and they looked untidy. That's probably more important than discussing Keith Crown's form. Kev, we don't want to hear about Keith Crown. Tell us about why your eyebrow looks a little untidy. Well, if you insist. I think I slept on it funny and then didn't flatten it down after I got out of the shower. Right, pick up where you left off last time out, which of course was those 7 goals we put past Birmingham, and we are getting straight into it with a corner from Baumgartner. Leonard nods down, Sweeney has got it on the edge of the area but gives it away, and it looks like the highlight is ending. I hope the highlight is ending, but Roma are coming at us here, and an early goal at the other end would be absolutely disastrous. I noticed they've got Kamara in their team, Kamara, who we signed for Tottenham just before we left. He never actually played for us, but you'll have remembered, I'm sure, from a couple of episodes ago, he was one of the players who was in the World Team of the Year, one of the Kev contingent. So although I signed him, we never saw him play. That was lovely from Leonard. So we know they've got one of the best players in the world playing as their attacking midfielder. But of course, we've got Vermonti as the counterpart to that. One of, if not the best defensive midfielder in the world. So an interesting little battle going on there. Of course, both former Tottenham boys as well. Leonard with the cross. Crown is there. Talking of former Tottenham players, and Keith Crown heads over when it was probably easier to score. He's not the biggest player in the world. To be able to head over from that kind of range, that takes some skill. If you just let it hit your face and go forward, it ends up in the back of the net. But obviously that would have been too easy for Keith Crown. Sweeney with the long throw bounces inside the 6-yard box, but nobody manages to get a toe onto it and put it into the back of the net. Sweeney following up with a shot from, it's a diagonal shot, a big diagonal shot across goal. But it goes out for the corner where Baumgartner is going to go across to take. He crosses one over looking for the far post, but there's no player there to complete what. That's where we need a Banfalvi. When we look back to some of the great teams we've had at Barcelona and Bayern Munich in this save, in these situations where we're struggling for goals, we always know if you get a corner, you've got a Banfalvi hovering around at that far post. And he'd always be around double figures for goals for the season. And I think that's one of the things we are missing here at Man United. When we're good, we're very, very, very good. But sometimes when we don't play very well, we don't have anyone to just bundle the ball over the line. Someone will do it here and prove me wrong. Baumgartner with the corner. I'd be delighted if Haman had scored there, but the thing with Haman is he's only 6'1" compared to some of the more dominating aerial presences that we've had hovering on that far post at previous clubs. Right, everybody needs to dig in. Sweeney has picked up a knock, so I think we're probably going to take Sweeney off because it's still a higher priority for me this year to win the Premier League. So we don't want to ruin him. We'll stick Sanchez up front. Leonard can go out onto this wing where I'm experimenting with him as a Raumdeuter, because Raumdeuter was such a successful role for Kylian Mbappe, who effectively was a striker that we were moving out wide. I wonder if it might be something that Philippe Leonard could do long term, especially with Sanchez proving that he's probably our best striker, certainly our most consistent goal scorer this year. Pascual has now picked up an injury. Carpentier, just recovering from an injury, is going to have to come on. It's not ideal in this situation for us to be making forced substitutions. We wanted to be able to actually think in terms of changing the game. But now we look at Crown, who's having a terrible match. We've got Paulo on the bench, so Paulo can come on for him. And that's all our substitutions made now. Inter still have 2 to do. They've brought on a Manchester United legend in this series has just come on for them. And I am feeling a little bit nervous that something horrible's about to happen, and it very nearly did there. Haman saving us. Baumgartner clears towards Sanchez, who can't quite direct himself goalwards. And I think Roma are holding us to a draw again here, unless we manage to steal a late goal here. And it is Sergio Sanchez in the 89th minute from the long throw from the right-hand side. It's the second time today Roma have let a long throw bounce inside the 6-yard box. They've only got themselves to blame. Why on earth are they letting that happen? They got away with it in the first half. They have not got away with it there. And it's the only goal of the entire tie of both legs. And it's come in the 89th minute of the second leg. And it's an away goal as well. So Roma have got 4 minutes left to score twice. And it just isn't going to happen. Merba now charging into the area, trying to grab a goal for himself as well. It was his throw that caused chaos and led to the goal. And that is the goal that puts us into the Champions League semi-final. And we got away with it. We absolutely got away with that. But I'm not going to complain, because we're in the semi-final of the Champions League yet again. And Bayern Munich are there as well. We could be setting up some matches against some of our former clubs here, because surely Barcelona still knocking around in the mix as well. Imagine a dream scenario. I haven't looked at who the other teams are. Oh, Atletico, that ruins my dream scenario. I was thinking if we had Tottenham, Bayern, Barcelona and us as the Champions League Final Four. No Barcelona in there. So it's us against Atletico, Bayern against Real Madrid. What on earth happened to Barcelona? How have they got knocked out by Real Madrid? Wowzers. Surely Banfalvi wants to come and join up with Kev now then, if he's at a team that can't even get to the Champions League semi-final. Come on, Laszlo. You know what side your bread's buttered. Get over here. Correa now considered the key player there as well. Told you he was good. Not scored as many goals this year yet, though. Right, let's go play Chelsea and take another step towards hopefully winning the Premier League. Right, 2 changes for the Chelsea game then. Both, well, they're not both forced. One is forced. The other is the opposite of forced. It was returning back to the pre-forced change. Carpentier comes back in at the back for Pascual. Now he's fit again. And Sanchez comes in on the left-hand side following the injury to Sweeney. He's going to be out for another week or so. One other significant change we've made after much backroom discussions and a suggestion from my assistant manager. Joachim Hamann is now the new club captain, replacing Keith Crown, who he's very inconsistent. And I don't like attacking players being captain. And Haman is my boy that I signed. And my assistant manager recommended it. So all of that being said, I wouldn't normally change the captain mid-season, even if I got a recommendation for it. But I think he's a better captain. I think he's more suitable to the role of captain. And we are in a struggling. We're struggling a little bit for form. Although we obviously scraped through against Roma, we are still top of the league. But Tottenham are really closing the gap on us at the top here. And I just think Haman has been there, done that, won leagues, won Champions Leagues, whereas Crown, to be fair, Crown kind of has with Manchester United as well. But like I say, Haman's my boy, and defenders should be captains, not strikers. There was an argument for Monty could have got it as well, because he sits in that role, making everything tick over. But Haman is the man, and hopefully he's not going to let us down. Watch him get sent off today now. Talking of getting sent off, is Vermonti. Why has Ronaldo just been sent off for Vermonti's tackle. I mean, I'm not going to argue because Ronaldo's much easier to replace. But all the same, that was weird. I'm going to take Crown off. And we're going to stick Sanchez up front with Leonard. I'm not entirely sure what's just happened. I assume it must have been for something that happened earlier in that move, maybe. That was very strange. Right, that'll do. It is the same old thing, though. Big game, key player sent off. Typical. It's just the way that this entire series has gone. And it does really start to pose problems with Tottenham breathing down our neck. Big throw from Kidd, and it's causing havoc in the area. Kidd, of course, a former Chelsea player. That's where he went after I sold him at Tottenham. He went to Chelsea and then was only there about a year before moving on to Manchester United, where he has established himself as England's number 2 left back. We've got a big counter-attack here from Chelsea, though, and it would have been directly... The responsibility goes back directly to Haman if that goes in, because he's charging down the right wing. Meanwhile, counter-attack happens and he's not there to defend. We've got problems here. Why on earth are we letting this happen? Kidd needs to be taking care of whatever's going on down this right-hand side for Chelsea. They're playing a relatively narrow system, although, to be fair, they've got the wing-backs, including Bourne, who is a right-back we were looking at signing way back at Barnsley. But we were never able to get the money together to drag him away from Chelsea. And that's obviously why, if he's still playing for them all these years later. Right, Leonard is going to come off. And we're going to bring Paolo on for him. And we're going to drop back to, I guess, a slightly more sensible system with the Diamond and Sanchez up front on his own. And that will do for now. We're going to ask for a little bit of creativity as well. We really need a goal. And I know it's difficult because it's a big game against a decent side and we're away from home. All those circumstances tell me a draw is fine. But looking at the league table and Tottenham are just relentlessly winning, it kind of stops a draw from being fine. But obviously a draw is going to be better than a defeat. Allah can come on for Abbott Ball for the last 10 minutes or so. And at this point, I'm happy to take the draw. But I'd be even happier if we could go up and nick a victory. Obviously, you know how football works. I'm explaining that as if that's a revolutionary concept. I mean, a draw is better than a defeat, and a win would be better than a draw. I don't need to tell you. Oh, shut up, Kev. Let's go and win a football match. That's literally the opposite of what I just asked you to do. You bunch of idiots. Because that really is opening the door for Tottenham now, and we are in very real danger of absolutely bottling this season. Oh, it's horrible. Demand more. I hate going down to 10 men. It's rubbish. It's a real disadvantage. Ronaldo's an idiot. And we have got an awful lot to do. Right, let's get aggressive. I am far from pleased with that result. I don't care about extenuating circumstances. The result itself was pathetic. And now we're level on points with Tottenham at the top of the league. Anyone but Tottenham to come in and do this to us. We've got 4 games left. And I mean, we've got Swansea, Everton, Palace, West Brom. If we don't win all 4 of them and win the league, we don't deserve to win the league. It's not like we've got a difficult run in. The difficulty comes with having the Atletico games tucked in there as well. It almost makes me regret getting to the semi-final of the Champions League, because the Premier League's what we're here to win. We've won the Champions League twice before. Surely we don't prioritise Swansea, Everton and Palace over Atletico. Or do we? If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.